Not too long ago, $100,000 salary was a financial milestone. Meant comfort, stability, even luxury. But that was when things were good.
You don't have to be an economist to know that the middle class salary is now $100,000. In 2019, $40,000 to $50,000 would buy you a middle class life. In 2024, it's $100,000.
The average right now in the United States is a home price that is about 6 times the median income.
I came across this. It says this is the max rent you should be paying based upon your salary. Now, just so you guys know for reference, the average American makes about $49,000.
For 2/3 of middle-income households believe that their income was falling behind the cost of living.
Hi, I'm Maria, and if you're curious about consumer behaviors, career talks, and money breakdown in today's economy, be sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. Average rent was maybe $1,500. Now we're seeing an average rent of what, $3,000, $3,500 in major cities.
The core of what the American dream means is some amount of economic security, that you feel like you can get by and do a bit better. Maybe do better than your parents, maybe be able to afford a house, certainly be able to save for your children's future.
Where you could buy a home for $300,000 and now that same home is $700,000 and it's a starter home that you're still gonna have to fix up.
House when I was 26 and fell immediately into poverty.
It's how people get into trouble. It's called being house poor. They spend too much on a house. They don't anticipate the phantom costs, all these hidden costs. And suddenly they wake up one day, they go, why do I make $75,000 or $150,000 and we can't afford anything? Why can't we save anything?
When eggs didn't cost $7 a carton, let's be real. And salaries were increasing at a steady pace. Unlike now where inflation has definitely outpaced our wages. So if salaries haven't caught up, where is all this money going? Because someone will say like, yeah, okay, it's $100,000. Where is that going? And why does it not feel like it's anything to the people making the money? And why are they still saying on all this Reddits that they're still living paycheck to paycheck? What's happening, right? Let's break it down. If you make $100,000 after taxes, on average, it's probably like $70,000 to $75,000. Let's be for real. And again, that depends on where you live because some states don't have state taxes, things like that. That sounds solid, pretty good. That's still really good. But let's see how that really stacks up against real expenses in this day and age where things are increasing higher than ever, right?
So there's no extra in there for retirement, for kids' college.
New York, LA, San Francisco, I would say definitely Miami is now up there in those charts when it comes to high cost of living cities, right? You're looking at $3,000, $3,500 typical rent here, hoping that stagnates and actually goes down, but you know, $2,000 to $3,000 depending on what you're getting and where you are location-wise. Maybe some mid-tier cities, maybe $1,500 to $2,200, but again, that's not what it was just 7 years ago. Grocery prices have increased. I know mine almost felt like double because the amount that we pay every time we go do groceries now, it's like, did we always pay this? I don't feel like we did because we didn't. And that's been proven many times over now. But yeah, everything costs more. You have car payment, insurance, gas. If you're moving car around and you're driving a lot of gas might go into that factor. If you're taking public transit, that's still a factor to put into them. A little bit less, but still a factor. Health insurance and benefits and things like that. Out-of-pocket costs, going to see the doctors, those things rack up. A specialist, those things rack up. And that's not even talking about savings, retirement, and investments, because you should be doing that at a 20% rate. But in reality, many of us struggle to do it. And that's just the reality in whatever price range of money people are making now. Of course, we have the billionaires, and that's just not normal, and that's just not right. That's a different level of what we're talking about. We're talking about even stability now. You have to be a millionaire just to even feel safe. So when you take all the things I just talked into account, right, that leaves very little for discretionary spending. You want to travel, you want to dine, you want to go shopping, you're pulling a bigger chunk out of that 70, 75,000, even more, okay? And I know this from experience, right?
The middle class describes the largest share of people on the wealth spectrum slotted between the extremely wealthy and the working class.
The benchmark of a 6-figure salary used to be the gold standard income. It represented the tipping point of finally earning a disposable income and building a savings, spending based on your wants, not just your needs.
So forget about buying a home, especially if you live in a major city. Forget about it. Even some of the smaller cities now, it's getting harder and harder, right?
The median home price increased by 43%, where the median income only increased by 7%.
So yeah, even though $100,000, I 100% believe is good money, it's still great money till today, let's be for real. It's just the costs have shifted so much that $100,000 does not go $100,000 like it did just 10 years ago. So is it worthless? Obviously not. Hello. I'm not a crazy person. I'm not coming in here to tell you crazy things. Like I said, where you live, high cost of living cities are big. It's just gonna take a bigger chunk out of that. In Miami, I know it's a high cost of living. How you spend, definitely. Like I said, I was into the shoppings a lot. My channel focused on a lot of that because I was doing a lot of that at the time, and that's part of it. Honestly, the financial decisions you make. Because if you don't have the financial education, again, talked about this in my other video as to maybe, okay, if you get a 401k, putting money into that. If you have a Roth IRA, putting money into that. Or, finding some, savings account, a high yield savings account or something. If you don't have that education, you just don't know. All of those financial decisions and all of those things all together determine whether that $100,000 feel like a blessing or just another struggle, just another thing to get through in life. If you are not in a high cost of living area, you're in a mid or a low cost of living area, amazing. Your $100,000 gonna go very far. You have minimal debt. You don't have student loans. You pay them all off. You never had them in the first place. Congratulations. You don't have any car payments because you paid it off or you got a car. Amazing. If you have a dual income household, again, money goes further. Where it's going further for us, right? Things don't cost that much, or maybe whatever percentage you decide to split it. So splitting major costs definitely makes a huge difference. If you, like I said, leveraging a lot of those 401ks, your Roth IRA, your 457s, your different retirement plans, help that 100,000 feel way more. But again, if you're living in a high cost where rent eats up half your income, or you are paying off significant student loans, which is a reality for a lot of us, or you have very, very, very high interest debt, which is typically like credit cards. That's why a lot of people have credit cards, planas, and like pay as you go, 4 payments plan situation. Or maybe you don't have employment benefits, you don't have any 401k, any retirement, all those type of things, or health insurance. If you have dependents or you're paying for family members, all of those things, obviously, those are things that would eat away at the 100,000. And those are realities for a lot of people, more so than not. If you're making 100,000 and spending like 2010s and 2000s, yeah, even in general, it's not really going that far. That's why we're having this conversation in the first place. But you really gotta like make that stretch way more. If this money or my salary feels like it won't cut it anymore, there has to be a way that I was able to live on less money and still make it through, barely or scraping by, but still less money. And now I'm making more. There has to be a way to make it count, to make it stretch for me. There has to be something. What can you do at that 100,000 to be financially secure? I think number one, like I just said, living below your means. Like I said, the shopping has to stop. Even with a high salary, living below your means is necessary because, especially again, high cost of living, even middle cost of living. At this point, again, things are so expensive. I just think anything is just barely scraping by at this point for most people. But making sure not to get lost in the treat yourself syndrome. It's so easy to get lost in it, especially as you like climb up and you start getting that money and you start, you get a new job and you are able to notch up in your like finances, and you're able to notch up in your salary range and all of that type of stuff, right? It's very easy to fall into like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do this thing that's gonna add like an extra maybe $400, $300 a month to match my salary because I can do that now. No, pause. Because especially, like I said, if you're living in a high cost of living area versus maybe if you're splitting rent or all these different factors that I talked about, you're gonna have to determine, does this really make sense? Am I just increasing my lifestyle because I now have this little bit of money? Or should I just take that money and use it to pay down my debt instead of getting a new car and like financing a new car that costs more? Those are the decisions you're gonna have to make. Like I said, I am no stranger to leveraging multiple streams of income, okay? I do content, and then brand deals comes in, that's another stream of income. There's a YouTube partner program, that's another stream of income. My actual 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever, my salary career, right? Outside of that, these are all the streams of income. Selling a product or, even working like a night job or a desk job just to kind of get that money up. Those are streams of income. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need it for a time period to do certain things, there's nothing wrong with that. There's seasons for working and there's seasons for relaxing. You can work and then you can relax knowing that you worked and you did what you were supposed to do, and you can literally be like, I did the best I can. And again, not every period in our life looks the same. So yes, there are multiple streams of income. At certain times, build it up so you always have just something to turn to, something to supplement, something. Oh, there's at least this one little thing that's coming in every month that can take the stress off my back, even if it's $100, even if it's $500, whatever it may be. It just gives you breathing room, just a little bit. Even if that money then goes into savings, that's more breathing room for you, right? And like I mentioned in my other video, you gotta negotiate everything. Maybe I don't know if it's like the Nigerian in me, but negotiate everything. Your job, your rent, your bill. Call those people. Call them and say, I'm going to cancel this because it's way too expensive. They may give you a discount. That's actually happened. I'm talking from experience. They'll say, you know what if we give you this amount of discount? Would that help? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That would help. Exactly. Negotiate it. Talk to someone. Can we work? Can we work on something? I mean, worst comes to worst. Again, I'm not perfect at this. Okay, I'm making my way too, because those negotiations are a big. There are so many times I look back and I'm like, I really wish that I negotiated or just ask certain things rather than just hope and wish and just like see what else is out there. Because that's the truth of it, right? Ask, and worst comes to worst, they say no, and you move on. But to sit at it and be like, also to let the fear overtake you is kind of like, you have to just do it. So that's a lesson I'm learning, but that's something that would really still, career-wise, can also catapult you a bit, because you're not taking the base range that they pay you at. Perfect. You can get more money, right? More to do more in your life, more to pay down bills, more to put you in a better situation and better financial stability, I hope. And then, like I said in my other video, invest early and as much as you can. Remember when I started with $5, $10, $15? It's all I had at the time, and I would put it in there. But you know what? When I had more, I put in more. When I had less, I put in less. But I always put it. Everything in life is compounding interest. Like, that's the idea of life in reality, and especially when it comes to money and finance and math in general, right? If you keep putting this thing in there, over time, it will build. And in actuality, inflation erodes cash. $5, like $5 cash in 2010 is not $5 cash now, because it does not worth the same things. The amount of gum you could get in 2010, maybe you get 3 different packs of gum, you're not getting 2, because the prices of things have increased. So that $5 is worth less now. Invest it. I didn't know these things either. You're gonna have to learn. You're going to have to listen to people. You're going to have to realize where that you learn from. It opens your eyes to different things you may have never even heard before. But you got to start investing, even if it's small, just a little bit, because compounding interest is the key. Start early and key in early. So is 100K enough anymore? The answer depends on how you use it. Let's be real. 6 figures is still good money, but it's not a guaranteed path for wealth, stability, or even a home these days anymore. It's really not just about how much you earn, but how you manage it, how you budget for it, how you make it work for you. If you want to talk about real ways to get ahead in a system that's always changing, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, bye.